Do you like your VR content fresh and dank? And stick with the sauce, PSVR Frank. Aloha heads, Frankie Boy here, and welcome to those beautiful 5 to 10 minutes of the day I like to refer to as the Frank Show. Now, if you have not entered the Moss giveaway, link is in the description. We are giving away 4 physical copies of Moss to anyone in the world, and I got 1 copy to give away for a Cool Painter VR giveaway. Now, all you gotta do is, if you have Cool Painter VR, draw us a picture of something regarding Moss, affiliated with Moss, something Moss related and Cool Painted, and upload it to my Discord. Link to that is in the description. And on June 10th, that's when submissions are due. We're gonna look at them all, put them in a video, and let you vote on them with the comments, and the winner is gonna get a physical copy of Moss. We're talking about this mostly because people were wondering when the due date is. Now you know, get your submissions in by June 10th. Now, bigger news, and something a lot of people have been asking me about, is Frankie Boy. Where is the Rick and Morty VR review? You've been talking about Rick and Morty forever. We know you like Rick and Morty. Why didn't you review the game right away? And the big reason is because I love that game. I really enjoyed it on PC, and I honestly enjoyed it on PlayStation VR. It's visually one of the best games we have. It's super clean. It looks almost identical to the PC version. I can't believe that they did it, but it's got issues that could easily be fixed that they have not fixed yet. Now, one of the big things that I noticed right away is you need a lot of room for this game, and you need to have your camera set up pretty high and well. Now, if you do not have a lot of room and you cannot set your camera up high and well, you really can't play this game optimally. There is nothing to make it much better. You can make the world a little bit smaller, which makes it a tad bit easier, but it's not fun. You want it to be normal size. Now, another thing is you can't turn. So let's say you have a little bit of space. You can set your thing up, but you can't reach completely, or you can't reach behind you without hitting something. You can't turn whatsoever. There's no turning options. None of the buttons do anything except for the square button, which pulls up your menu, so you're just kind of out of luck. Also, when you try to grab objects, they just bounce, and if you can't reach down low because you can't get your camera high enough set up, and it just keeps on bouncing and bouncing, it just gets kind of frustrating. Now, you can eventually grab it, and you work your way through it, but if they just had some kind of like Jedi trick to a certain degree for some items, it would just make life so much better. And the big reason we waited is because I reached out to them, because I played this one a little bit before it came out, and they finally reached back out to the community and everybody and said, we're fixing it. We know what's going on. We got a patch coming soon, and they have a patch on the way that's going to fix a lot of the issues that people have. Now, I was waiting for that one to come out, but so many people were just upset that we didn't have a review that I thought we would cover my issues with it right now. Now, it is a fantastic game. It's a lot of like little mini games. If you're a fan of the series, you're going to love it. But on top of that, the interactions within the game are just a whole hell of a lot of fun. There's little devices you can play with, knobbies here. Mini games, there's tons of mini games here and there. If you like the dialogue normally, that kind of stuff, you're gonna love this one. It is definitely a fan service. I mean, most of us have probably played it already. Maybe a couple people were waiting, but it really is just a fun game, and I'm so glad that they're actually reaching out. They're fixing it. They know the issues, and they're working on them. And once those are out, we're gonna do a full review of it so you guys can really see. But in the condition and quality that it's in yet, yeah, if you have a whole lot of play space, you're still gonna get a little frustrated grabbing stuff sometimes, but it's going to be much better if you don't have a play space and you want to play Rick and Morty VR, which are a lot of people out there. It's just not going to work that well for you, and that kind of sucks. So that's why we haven't reviewed it. In other news, PlayStation VR has got an ESL game. Yes, all you Sprint Vector players out there, Sprint Vector has been added to the VR ESL Gaming League. So if you like Sprint Vector, if you're good at Sprint Vector, I mean, now could be the time to be a pro gamer if that's what you really want to do. I mean, this is a whole new world. I mean, even when like multiplayer shooters come out, you guys, if you're gonna get good at them, a lot of the standard mouse and keyboard and controller people aren't really so good with VR games. I mean, keep playing. If your dream was to be a pro VR game or a pro gamer, I mean, you might have a chance in VR. I mean, who knows? But yes, so Sprint Vector is your first real thing to practice on. Now, more information is probably gonna come out sooner or later, and I'll tell you guys as it comes out, but this is a big deal. This is pretty awesome. So we have our first VR esport game that's on PlayStation VR. I mean, come on. Now, finally, before we get to the last little bit of everything, we got a new physical VR game coming our way. Now, I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but Blind is coming. If you've not heard about this one yet, because we haven't really talked about it too much on here, this is one where you're using echolocation. It's one of those black and white games. Now, you're a woman that just... boom, lost their eyesight, and you got to solve puzzles that slowly get more and more difficult, and you got a cane that helps you get around, and I think it's just going to probably light up similar things. Now, if you got to try out Stifled, then you have a similar idea of what's going on here, but I think this one's going to be a bit more story-driven. Now, regardless, I cannot wait to try it out because I do like echolocation games, and I am excited to have another physical PlayStation VR game in a collection because who doesn't like that? Now, before I leave you, it's time for everybody's favorite. Ask Frank is a mother flipping. Ask Frank is a place you can ask Frank what's up.
Well, you gotta ask Frank.
Oh yeah, I dug through the videos. I found a jam. I brought it back. Now, first up, who? Oh no. I can't read. I just can't read. Wildcard Gamer says, hey, Frankie, I'm thinking of getting a PS4 and a PSVR. Is PlayStation VR just a gimmick? I mean, what are your thoughts? Now, Wildcard, no, I don't think it's a gimmick. I mean, personally, for me, there's maybe 2 big flat releases a year, possibly 3, that I even want to play. God of War, I've been playing a little bit in my spare time, and I'll probably play for months and months until maybe Spider-Man or something comes out. So, no, PlayStation VR is not a gimmick. At this point in time, maybe it's an addition to your normal gaming, but honestly, I don't play anything but VR. The only reason I play God of War is because I love God of War, but that's all. I mean, I do have a couple other outlets to play with, but even if I didn't, I would just play my PlayStation VR all the time. There are tons of different options in games, and I'm one of those guys that doesn't have like 5, 6, 7 hours, 4 hours to sit down and play. I mean, most of my games I can play for a while. Rec Room, I mean, there are people that played like thousands of hours already of Rec Room, and that game is everlasting. I mean, some people buy PlayStation VR just to have a Skyrim VR machine. I mean, no, it's not a gimmick unless like you want it for some kind of like crazy AAAs that are going to come out every month, and maybe it's going to be considered a gimmick to you, but no, it's not a gimmick whatsoever. It's a fantastic machine that does phenomenal things, and if you get one, you're going to love it. I mean, Wipeout is a great racing game if you're looking for a racing game. Like I already named, Skyrim is open world, Rec Room for social. I mean, it's got every little bit of thing. Tower Defense, it's sports games. I mean, you name it, PlayStation VR has got it. Now, Chocolate says, hey, Frank, what do you think that the new PlayStation VR is going to have improved tracking? Now, Chocolate, the concept of a new PlayStation VR should not be in your head. This thing is years and years from now. I mean, the information we talked about the other day about 2.0 with, like, the new things, those new LCD panels or whatever kind of panels they are, they just got shipped out to people that are playing around with them, which means that there's not even, like, a prototype with anything even in it yet. So it's going to be another year, 2 years before we see some really solid thing. Maybe we'll see some little iteration thingy in between, but I don't think we're going to see another solid PlayStation VR for a while. And when that comes out, I most definitely think that they're going to improve the tracking. Now, there is a chance that they might stay with light-based tracking, but if they use a better camera that just reads light instead of some camera that's been kind of, I mean, like, rigged to read our little light balls as tracked light bulbs way more, and it's just a normal camera on top of that. I mean, get rid of all the normal camera function, just make it a light-reading camera, and let us have, like, a wireless Bluetooth version that we can just kind of, like, pop on the wall behind us, bada bing, bada boom. Even maybe, like, a one you put on the ceiling that's a 360 dome camera that looks down. That would be G. Just something simple like that is something you pop on the floor, something like that that can just read everything that front camera can't read. Yes, I definitely think we're going to have that on the version 2.0. I mean, why wouldn't they? They know the problems with this one. They're going to probably fix those problems, and we'll probably have a host of new problems because that's how life goes, buddy. And Mags said, first-person shooters for PlayStation VR, where the hell are they? Mags, you know what? I feel you completely, and we got some coming our way. Zero Killed, if you want to check it out, is coming our way. Alvo is another one that is coming our way. Farpoint is probably the best multiplayer first-person shooter that we have right at this moment. Also, Honor and Duty is out there if you want to try that one. Duty. But there are more coming our way, and I promise you there's people working on them because they know that is definitely a little bit of an untapped untapped market in PlayStation VR right now, and I promise you, there's going to be a time where you're like, oh my God, stop with the multiplayer first-person shooters. I mean, we need to grow my community in one of these. I mean, come on. But yeah, they're coming. Don't worry about it. Well, finally, Kaito0712 says, hey, Frankie, do you think we're going to see Fallout 4 on PlayStation VR? Kaito, my hopes have slowly dropped more and more and more as time has passed on, but on a brighter note, Nintendo did seem to leak that there's going to be maybe a Fallout 3 anniversary, blah, 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 edition coming in Nintendo Switch. So maybe if they're working on the games, playing around, we already know Bethesda has the engine. We already know that they know that we want Fallout 4. And even if we're like, you know what? We can't really even get Fallout 4 to work. We just got it to work a little bit better on PC, but it was definitely tough work. How about a little Fallout 3 for you? I mean, that would blow up at E3. You know, people would be hyped on it. They wouldn't care. I mean, sure, hell, it's a damn old game, but the thing is, damn old games are something completely different when you play them in VR. I take it from anybody that's played Skyrim already for the 15th time and they played it in VR. They'd be like, dude, yeah, I never played Skyrim until I played it in VR. But anyway, you guys, thank you all for coming through. If you want to have your question answered on Ask Frank, then just answer it. Or well, don't answer it. I answer it. Ask it in the description, comments, and just put the hashtag Ask Frank before it. And you know what, dude? I'm more likely to see it. Now, you're beautiful. Most amazing audience in the world. Give yourselves a round of applause, a thumbs up, a high five, and if you think I deserve one, you could throw me one as well. But more important than all of that is that if you want to stay up to date on any and everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on. Smooches.
The Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show. It's time for the show. The Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on. The Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show. The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show. It's time for the show.